Constantius II, born Flavius Julius Constantius, was born in 317 AD. As a son of Constantine, he would inherit the East after Constantine's death in 337, and by that time, he was at the age of 20 and past childhood. So let's talk about one of the first things Constantius did when Constantine died. He was at first the most active of any of the successors to Constantine, and immediately went to Constantinople, where he organized the Massacre of the Princes, where he murdered 2 uncles and 6 cousins of Constantine. This would dramatically eliminate a lot of members of the Constantinian dynasty, and aside from his brothers, Constans and Constantine II, there was only 3 other males left: Gallus, Julian, and Nepetianus. Nepetianus would eventually die, and Gallus would die before Constantius' reign ended. So let's talk about Constantius' religious policies. He heavily promoted Arianism, a contrast to Constans and Constantine II, and this would not be the one that eventually went out, but he did an okay job of promoting it, and that was him. So let's talk about, he had a very corrupt administration. This would really never leave, and this corruptness would never be purged from the empire. So this kind of would just linger until the fall of the Roman Empire, and so this would not be a good thing about him. He also held campaigns against the Germanic tribes, against the Alemanni in 354, and the Quadi and Sarmatians in 357. Like I've said before, this would at least a little bit stabilize the empire, although by this point, Germans are becoming a lot more unified and powerful. So, like I've said before in other videos, Constans would eventually die at the hands of Magnentius in 350 AD. This was because Constans was pretty unpopular. Rumors of his homosexuality really bothered a lot of people. And so Magnentius revolted, and he was installed in the West. So Constantius, who was in the East on a Sassanid campaign planning that, had to go back to the West and try to kill him and retake the West, because he was not a member of the Constantinian dynasty, so that was seen as unacceptable by Constantius. So he would march to the West. There would be another usurper called Vetranio, although he would eventually side with Constantius and would voluntarily resign. But Constantius defeated Magnentius at the Battle of Mursa Major and Mons Lucas. So Magnentius would eventually be killed, and the West would be reabsorbed under the realm of Constantius, leaving a unified empire for Constantius. This is when Gallus would die. So let's talk about the Sassanid campaign. While Constantius was involved in other things, the Sassanids raided a bunch in the East, and by the time of his death, that's what he was doing. But there was a really important event with the revolt of Julian. So basically, Constantius had given Julian command of Gaul and Britannia, and he defeated the Germans at the Battle of Strasbourg. But he then said that his troops were forced him to become emperor. So they revolted. But while Constantius was going to meet him in battle, Constantius would die, leaving the full empire under the realm of Julian. Let's talk about both of the emperors that I've talked about. I put Constantius at B tier, as he was a successful general, and he would also unify the empire. And he also put down Magnentius, who I put at F tier, as being incompetent. An overall bad emperor. He would wage a consumptive war that really drained the empire's resources, and overall just a terrible emperor. So, like, subscribe, and comment. I hope you enjoyed the video. Goodbye.